Welcome. So today our topic is going to be about hip hop, from the fashion to the music and the cultural integration of it all, just period. You know what I'm saying? How it's transformed today. So what do you guys think about hip hop? Do you think it's a bad thing or a good thing? Or
I think hip hop is a great thing. You know, it serves as a positive creative outlet for like those who can't voice their opinions.
Right.
And like hip hop is getting like a bad rep because, you know, it's got these underlying meanings of, you know, violence or drugs or money. But, you know, it's not all bad. I think hip hop has some very positive aspects.
Right. I don't think it's a negative thing at all. So on to like more of the music. There are a lot of situations going on out here today where people are condemning hip hop for what it actually is, and feel like there's a lot of people out here mocking it. I mean, there's a lot of celebrities out here that
like Iggy Azalea for one.
Oh,
this
definitely.
lady thinks she can rap, and here's a video to show her rapping.
Okay, yeah, that's enough. Okay, so that's a prime example. Like, do we necessarily think that it's okay for her to portray? Like, I really wouldn't say, there's a lot of people out here that says that she acts black, but she can't act a color. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they try to.
Right. It's more of like your background. Where you come from. Which a lot of people say, she's actually a fake. Like, she's not actually from the hood or anything like that. So we just don't, necessarily think that it would be okay for her to come out, and then you're babbling like a whole bunch of a whole bunch of craziness, like, that's not what hip hop was about. It was like more of like an expression of like the African American struggles.
That's the only way they can express themselves.
Right.
They made that for them. And of course, like, white artists, they can be inspired by it, but the problem is they take the sound and they conform it into something that white CEOs will accept.
Like white supremacy, another example of
Exactly.
taking over, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anything, right.
Right.
So,
like Azealia Banks in a magazine interview in Ebony, she was calling out Iggy the other day. She is tired of all these white artists
really,
taking over the music industry.
Really?
They're tired of it. They call them the white Negro or something like that.
right.
Yeah.
And it's just like I feel like African Americans don't get enough representation for
They
them
don't get
putting
enough
hip hop
positive
into the,
representation.
the American culture. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, there's a lot of examples of that within the music industry, the theatrical industry,
Yeah.
even, fashion, wise. Like, this year, you ever guys heard of the boycott the Oscars?
Yeah.
Because, a lot of people feel like African Americans don't get enough representation in the theater business, and don't receive awards. They just receive Grammys, why when I could receive an Oscar? That's bigger, that's better.
But even then, like, a lot of black artists, they don't receive a lot of Grammys.
Right.
That's a struggle for them, and it's crazy because you got the blue-eyed souls now that are in black music genres, and
Right.
they're getting all the positive attention.
Right. Macklemore, Eminem,
And Adele, I love her to death, but she gets more attention than someone like K. Michelle.
or Jennifer Hudson. Like, if we compared the two between Jennifer Hudson and Adele, it's just like both of them have soul, but Adele gets more attention because she's white with soul.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sam
So-
Smith too.
Right. It's just all crazy. As well as, like, a big problem to me was, the fashion. It's like, I feel like our traditions are mocked, like, whether they're modern or like from before time, they're recreated and then they're renamed. Like the do-rag, a lot of people condemn the do-rag for, it being something that people of poverty, have access to and that they wear. But, recently Chanel came out with the Chanel Urban Hair Tie. You know, it's crazy. Like it's the same thing. It's a do-rag, but it's like chic for white people. You get what I'm saying? But it's bad for black people to wear because our men
They
are
make fun of black people for wearing that, but now they're making it a
Right.
fashion for white people.
like a fashion statement or something like that. And no credit, you know what I'm saying, give
Yeah.
it for something that, you know what I'm saying, black people came up with.
And you know what, in a way, fashion kind of ties in with like how the artist's work like portrays their mind. Because Nas says, if you look like a mess, usually there's a mess in your head. And if you look pretty organized, that speaks without words.
Right.
So it's like the music or whatever these artists are producing kind of reflect how they dress and kind of, you know, how just like how they present themselves to the media.
Right, right. And I think that's what it's all about. It's just like, there's a lot of things, you know what I'm saying, is besides clothes, you know what I'm saying, even African American traditions such as like cornrows, like the braids and dreads, you know what I'm
Dreads!
saying?
Oh my god.
Like I've never
White
seen so many white people wanting to be like Rastafarian type.
people.
You know what I'm saying? Like
But I mean,
it's nothing wrong, you know what I'm saying?
You can appreciate it and like,
Right.
you can respect it, but it's like they just change it completely. And it's a mockery when
Right.
they do it.
It's just not, it just doesn't seem fair, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because it's harder for us to imitate their styles. But, I mean, there are some people out here in this industry that do, like, that give us a reason not to make this an issue, like Nicki Minaj, you know what I'm saying? Like, how is it that you can portray, you know what I'm saying, blonde hair and a lot of Eurocentric beauty traits, you know what I'm saying, to us, as America, you know what I'm saying, we're wondering in the back of our minds if, you know what I'm saying, who should we value more, you know what I'm saying? Well, if we necessarily put a name on it, whites trying to be blacks and blacks trying to be whites.
Exactly.
You just,
Yeah.
it all just, it's all, you know, a big misunderstanding, I would think.
But honestly, black people, they don't get positive representation in the media at all.
Right,
Anything they do, there's gonna be some negative twist to it.
right,
But white people, they can do some crazy stuff, and it's okay. Like,
right,
they'll get over it real quick. But black people, it's different.
right. It's just the oppression, you know, it's something that we've been through for years, you know what I'm saying?
Hundreds of years.
Right,
like,
it's
honestly.
nothing really changing.
And it's funny because like it's not like sometimes it's not even a race thing. It's sometimes like a class thing because you know rap music and like street culture it's like all closely like associated with you know like black culture and stuff. But like the statistics show that you know the majority of people who are living in like lower class conditions are black. So they're automatically assuming like wow. You
Hip hop
know,
belongs to the
hip-hop-
minority.
Right, hip hop belongs to the minority.
We want to have a word. You know, we were supposed to actually have, you know, Cammie Holland join us today on the show, but you know what I'm saying, a lot of things happen, people get tied up, so, you know, I'm pretty sure she has a lot to say about this topic.
I want to talk about the curriculum in schools at the moment. African American literature isn't really included. The National Center for Statistics for Education says that by 2022, Hispanics, blacks, and multiracial students will be the majority in schools. That means that whites will be the minority. Therefore, there should be more curriculum aiming towards this culture so they can learn about themselves, and also so whites can learn about them as well. There are plenty of great authors that you can actually, you know, teach from that have had Nobel Prizes and Pulitzers, such as Toni Morrison, Phyllis Wheatley, and Terry McMillan. They are part of the African American literature culture, and they've been there for many, many years, and they have plenty of different genres with different lessons in each book. It is imperative that African American literature is discussed in schools, not only because of the impact that it'll have on African Americans, but the impact it'll have on other races as well. Everyone needs to know about it.
Okay, well, I mean, that's all the time we have today. We enjoyed you guys.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you so much for tuning in.
And we'll be back with more Views from the Six.